going on, guys? Roberto Parker here with IST. This is another IST health tip of the day. Today's topic is andropause for you gentlemen out there. Andropause is where you start to lose testosterone. It is also called male menopause. Woo! Now, don't let that freak you out, gentlemen, because there's ways to counteract this. I don't believe there is a way to really stop andropause from happening. We start to lose testosterone. But you can sure make a big dent in it and slow it down big time. Just like aging. You're not going to stop aging, but you can slow the process down by your lifestyle choices, of course. Now, I want to go back to some scientific principles here first. How was testosterone made? It's made with cholesterol. When people hear the word cholesterol, they start to freak out because they think about clogged arteries and that kind of thing. Statin drugs. Cholesterol is a necessary component by the body because it helps our bodies make neurotransmissions. In other words, nerves, communication. It helps to formulate our skin. It helps to make nails and hair. So cholesterol is important. Now, cholesterol makes this hormone called pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is a precursor to DHEA. A lot of you have probably heard about this. DHEA is like a growth hormone that helps you to lose body fat and energy and to put on muscle. DHEA is now a precursor to androstenedione, which is a precursor to testosterone, and also a precursor to estrogen for the ladies. But today's topic is more about testosterone for you gentlemen out there and andropause. Now, how can we slow the process down? I have a list. Number one, intermittent fast. This is a pretty trendy thing today. Everybody's talking about intermittent fasting. Eat within a 6 to 8, maybe 10-hour window. I believe it should be 6 because that works better in the system, in my opinion, your metabolism. Your first meal is at noon, or it could be earlier. It could be at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's fine. But you're going to eat within a 6-hour window. So let's say your first meal is at 9 in the morning. Your last meal is going to be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If it's at 12 o'clock noon, your last meal is going to be at 6. That's it. You're done for the day. So now for the next 18 hours, which includes when you go to bed and lay your head on the pillow and sleep, you are going to be fasting for the next 18 hours, and your next meal will be around 12 o'clock the very next day. That will help the process of testosterone. Now, testosterone can elevate in the body anywhere from 2 to 400% if you're working out religiously with some weightlifting and getting proper nutrition, and with the next one, sleep. You must get the proper amount of sleep. That's also when growth hormone production is made. Okay, it's starting to kick in. So you have to get the right amount of sleep. Now, going back to exercise, one thing I forgot to talk about. Weight training, body weight training, or interval training, meaning circuit training. Circuit training should involve something like wind sprints, maybe jumping rope, maybe if you want to get on a treadmill or elliptical for a half a minute, full minute, 2 minutes, and just bust your rear end, go back to the strength, go back to the semi-cardio, go back to the strength, go back to the sprints. You can do it that way. Those are interval circuits. Very, very good for testosterone production. Okay, another one is reducing your stress. Find out where your stress is. Is it chemical, which is also nutritional? Is it physical? Are you working out too much or maybe working too much? Is it emotional? Maybe you're going through some sort of emotional time in your life. Lost your job, bankruptcy, divorce, death in the family. Sometimes those can't be avoided, but do your best to try to manage those as best you can. And you're going to help your testosterone production, gentlemen, to avoid that andropause we talked about. Detoxifying the liver. Now, detoxifying can be simple, like just taking water and putting some lemon juice in it, because lemon juice is a very good cleanser of the liver, a good tonic. Now, there are certain products out there that they sell in health food stores. I'm not a really big fan of those, to be honest with you, but you can also look into those also. But cleansing the liver, because when the liver gets clogged up, It does not filter out toxins that will go into the tissues of the body. And when you don't filter out those toxins, it can be lethal to you. It can be deadly. Vitamin D. Vitamin D production. The best source of vitamin D is sunshine. No doubt about it. Now, some people are afraid of the sun. I'm just tell you that certain times of the day, getting sun is not as detrimental as other times of the day. In other words, the ultraviolet rays aren't as strong in certain times of the day. But if you're afraid of the sun, taking some vitamin D supplementation. But let me tell you about vitamin D though. Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. And without good fats in your system, consuming good fats in your system, you're not going to absorb it like you should. And the type of foods that you should be eating are good omega-3 fatty acids from such like fatty fish, which is really the best source. Eggs also are good. Okay, quality sleep, I talked about that. Minimize sugar. Minimize sugar as much as you can. That's a tough one here in America because they put sugar in just about everything. You have to really read the labels. That will negate testosterone and human growth hormone, which I talk about in my next podcast. Too much sugar will also adversely affect insulin. It can cause insulin resistance, which can also lead to type 2 diabetes. That will shut down growth hormone and testosterone, which is really not good. I believe that's everything. So, everything I just talked about there, gentlemen, can help slow down the process of losing testosterone big time. And let me say this about testosterone therapy. I know what you're thinking. Well, what if I just take some sort of exogenous source of testosterone? I'm not a big fan of it. I do a lot of homework and research and talk to your practitioner or medical doctor about it. But if you're taking something exogenously like that, it can have a reverse effect. There's a stuff called aromatase. Aromatase is a substance that is made which helps testosterone convert to estrogen, gentlemen. That is not what you want because if testosterone can and potentially can convert to estrogen, if you're taking exogenous sources, your testosterone levels will remain the same. Estrogen in men will go up, 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 and that's when you have all kinds of problems like male breasts, like man boobs. You start to gain body fat. You start to lose muscle density. You don't want that, gentlemen. Trust me, you don't want that. Plus, it can also increase the potentiality of prostate cancer. They have found in medical research that men who have higher levels of estrogen compared to their testosterone levels have a greater potential for prostate cancer. That's pretty darn important, gentlemen. Now, in closing here, let me just say this. Once again, you're not going to stop it from happening. It ain't happening, gentlemen. You can sure slow it down immensely by the right choices you make in your lifestyle. Now, my next podcast will be on human growth hormone. Human growth hormone and testosterone are very intersected. They have a lot of common attributes. I'm going to go into that in my next podcast. Part of my business and what I do is this. I help people assess where they are with their health. And we do that a couple ways. We can do it just via questionnaires, sitting down. I ask you questions about your lifestyle, about your sleep, about your eating, about exercise or lack thereof, about food cravings, about stresses in your life, and we make an attempt to find out what the problems areas are and we try to mitigate those areas. That's one way. Another way is by doing lab work on your blood, your urine, your stool. Those are other ways. Now, those ways are more expensive. I'm not going to try to BS you here. Doing labs is not cheap. And sometimes your insurance companies will not pay for a bunch of lab work. They won't do it. But if you have those type of resources and you want to go that direction, I'll be more than happy to work with you. Or we can just sit down and go over some assessments, find out what your metabolic type is, your body type is, and some lifestyle choices that you're making, and we can attack it that way, and we make some serious, serious changes. At least you have to. I'm here just to guide you. I'm a facilitator. So call me, 816-405-7703. Email us rwpsports at yahoo.com, and I will be glad to work with you. Take care, guys. God bless. This has been another IST Health Tip of the Day.